Good morning and welcome back once again to Jack's Tech Corner. This is Photography Weekly, episode number 31. Coming up in this episode, a self-portrait trio. What are we talking about? Creating the perfect Polaroid. For you folks out there who have been talking about Polaroid shots, we're going to learn how to create those today. And then looking at some great and even some pretty realistically inexpensive lighting gear ideas to help you do some interesting lighting techniques. So let's go ahead and get started this week with episode number 31. Yeah. Thanks for watching. That's the big thing. That's the biggest thing. Having you folks drop in here every Sunday morning is what makes this worth doing. It's what makes me wake up Saturday morning and start preparing, saying, what can I teach tomorrow morning? When I get up Sunday or Saturday mornings and I start playing around at 5 o'clock in the morning saying, I need some ideas. I got to kickstart my brain. And then I come up with these ideas. Just to put it out there to you, the live photography class that I've been teaching on Thursdays has been working out extremely well. We're going to get rid of these until after a while here. I don't need to listen to myself. I will need it when I switch microphones. But yes, the live classes have been working out extremely well. We have 7 people attending, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it gives me a chance to work one-on-one with these folks. And we've been doing some very interesting stuff. The other night was the last night. It starts at 6 o'clock, and now it's getting dark at 5, right? But last Thursday, we were able to actually get together and take some pictures outside. So we have our stuff ready for some HDR work this next Thursday. And we're also going to be doing some portrait photography with the new lighting gear that I purchased. I don't know if you guys seen the new lighting gear, if you watched the latest YouTube video unboxing the strobe lighting set. But you're going to have a chance here just to see just one of the lights today. And that's coming up in looking at lighting gear ideas. So where I wanted to start at, this was kind of a fun idea I had. I thought, we do photography all the time. And we try to come up with some cool ideas that we can do to make our photography more interesting and allow us to continue to learn at the same time. So what I'm going to show you folks, I don't know what your comfort level is. A lot of people in here, a lot of new people coming to the show, and a lot of people viewing this on YouTube. So I don't know what the comfort level is of everybody. But we're going to experiment today with masks. We're going to talk about some masks and how to use those. And we're also going to talk about using some different layers. So we're going to be doing some layer work. And we're also going to be doing some extraction work. So this first one, a self-portrait trio, has everything in it that is going to be interesting to you. What I hope to get out of this, folks, if you're watching these either live show, and I know pretty much everybody on my live shows here are on our Facebook group. So is what I hope to happen is you guys create trios like I'm going to show you and post them on Facebook so we can have a look. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to get started with the first tutorial, a self-portrait trio. So let me go ahead and bring that up. Bring this over here first. You see me turning my head there, I have another monitor to the left. A lot of people say, Jack, you turn your head an awful lot. If you're new to the show, I always bring that up. I think it's kind of comical that people would say that. And drop this, and I think I'm gonna show you this. So let me see here if we can get this together. I'll put this down here, and let's see here. Let's bring this up here. Okay, so this is the picture that we're going to come up with. This is what's going to happen in the end. So this is something I want you guys to work on. It gives me a chance to see who am I talking to. A lot of you guys I know don't have your pictures on your profiles on Facebook, so I don't know who I'm talking to when I'm sitting here in this microphone. I'm addressing you folks out there and I'm teaching you. So I want to be able to get a picture in my head of who I'm talking to. So this is a very, very nice way to be able to share this with you. So this is what we're going to come up with, and this I call this the portrait trio is what I call this. So let's go ahead and see how we get started with this. Okay, we're going to go just to the screen here so you can watch the layers and everything else building out here. All right. Now, how we get started with this is very, very simple. I started by taking 3 different pictures. Now, here's the key ingredient. Make sure that your camera's on a tripod. That way the camera is stationary and the shot is perfect and perfectly aligned for all of the shots. Try to make sure, and I have a little bit of trouble here with my chair, not realizing exactly where the chair was on the first shot. Kind of gave me a little bit of an issue on the second shot, but we'll deal with that. And then make sure that as you move around, you'll notice, and I think in these pictures, I'm trying to see here, but as you move around, the cup is a big part of this whole entire segment here. So the coffee cup is a key element here. So you see it here on the desk. And what happened was, on the second shot there, now I'm holding it. And on the third shot now, the cup is gone, but I'm holding a book. Okay? So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to take this shot, and we're going to start right off the bat by learning layers. All we're going to do is go to Select, All, Edit. We're going to copy this. So it's copying that whole layer. Let's go back here. And what we're going to do here is just simply do Edit and then Paste. All right, so there we have it. So we pasted that image into or over our other image. Now what we need to do here to get the person in the chair to be seen is we're simply going to have to place a mask on here so we can paint and reveal the bottom one. So once again, a mask, once we put a mask on, now this is in Photoshop Elements 10 that I'm working with. The mask actually came about in Photoshop Elements 9. Now there is ways, if you go back to my YouTube videos, there's ways that you can trick Photoshop Elements 5, 6, 7, and 8 into believing that it's a mask. But it doesn't work as well as this mask. Let's go ahead and just click on this, and there's our mask. All right, now with that mask in there, what we're going to do is paint black on there to reveal. Black reveals, white hides. So we're going to sit here, and we're just going to start revealing the person here. So all you're doing is really revealing the person from the bottom layer. So that's how easy it is to bring that person back into play. Now if we see we mess up a little bit back here, we can just simply flick this over. And what we're going to do here is lower our brush size. We'll just go paint right over this here, just with our paintbrush, real lightly. And we'll just cover that back up. We'll get that out of the way right there. Okay, so that's that part. Now we need this next part in here, which is me standing behind the chair. Now the masking technique didn't work. It didn't work out really well because of me overlapping the background me. So it didn't work out too well. So what we want to do here is, instead of doing that, we're going to make a selection. We're going to select this and get rid of all that. So everybody watching the show knows that I like the quick selection tool. There's no right or wrong, folks. You use whatever selection tool you wish to use. Use the quick selection tool, go to the plus, and just start selecting me. All right. Just like so. And just select across here. Remember, the better the selection, the better the illusion, right? That's what I always tell you guys. The better the selection, the better the illusion. So you're going to hit minus here and get rid of just a little bit right here on that book. But one thing nice here is we're blending it right back on to the same basic background because it's the same room, it's the same shot. Another thing I can tell you is always try to keep the same lighting. You want to make sure the lighting's the same. So here we go here. Let's get up around there. And get this right off the top of my head there. Once you get that done, all we need to do then is hit a Command or Control J. And now you can see if I shut that layer off, you can see that's just me. All right. So now with just that selected and everything else behind it is transparent, we can go up and do a select all. And then all we got to do now is do edit, copy. And we're going to come over here and we're just going to do edit and we'll paste it in. It's on the topmost layer, and now I could just move him back to where he was. Just like so. Now, the one thing you're going to notice on this is right down here, it looks like he's sitting on top of that, or I'm sitting on top of that paper. All right. So what we need to do there, I found it pretty easy to do. You can actually use the background eraser. You can erase some of that right there. Or if you want, or if you're so inclined, you can actually throw a mask in. Okay. Click on this, bring it down just a little bit. And right about there. It looks pretty believable. So there you have it. That's the way you would do a self-portrait trio shot. So, do one of these of yourself. I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to see your work on Facebook. So play around a little bit with this, and it gives you a chance to take some self-portraits and teaches you how to play a little bit with your Photoshop elements. And it teaches you how to use your camera and a tripod and a self-timer. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned here. It also teaches you a little bit about lighting and how you can set your light up to have consistent lighting through all your shots and be able to come off with a pretty decent picture. If nothing else, remember, like I always say, it's a conversation piece, right? So there you have it. Let's come back over here. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that little tutorial. It was fun there. We're going to go back over to the chat room now. We're just going to give our call-outs once again there, the shout-outs. I see Brian came aboard there. Good morning, Brian. David B., good morning. Hobby Bio, Hoppy Bio, Hoppyboi. June, good morning, if I didn't catch you before. And Unidentified, 17659, good morning to you. We do ask that you try to log into the chat room with your name. I mean, not a requirement, just a nice friendly asking there so we know who you are. And it's nice to have you in here with us this morning. Just flip over here real quick just to see. Okay, there we go. Back on my chat room there. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed that little video tutorial there. But now, what I wanted to talk to you next about was, and this actual tutorial is really not that long, but a lot of people said, Jack, how do you make a Polaroid picture? And I said, I'm sure we can make a Polaroid picture. And I started looking around the internet for some ideas. And what I decided was, I know how to make a Polaroid picture. I didn't need to look around the internet. It's so simplistic and so easy that I think we were trying to make it harder than what it really needed to be. Now, you can put a lot of variations on this, and you can do a lot of different things with your pictures to make them look even more interesting as a Polaroid. But as a straight basic Polaroid picture that would come off a Polaroid camera, it's really not that difficult. So we're going to go ahead and we'll get started with that. And then right after that, we're going to go into start working on I lost my train of thought there. I seen Kevin said I was skipping again. Sorry about that, but I don't know why that is. It's fine now. Yeah, I don't know why that happens. I just think it's a hiccup on Justin TV. We've added, like I hit this computer now, you know, it has 12 gigs of RAM in it, which is unbelievable amount of RAM in it. I put that much in just to keep these shows running smoothly, but we'll go from there. It's recording, so if you would miss something, just jump over on YouTube and catch it there. Okay, so as I said, we're going to go through this next tutorial on how to create a Polaroid picture, and then I'm going to open Skype up so you guys can call in. So remember, you can use your cell phone for Skype, or you can use Skype itself, and there's no charges for that. It's free. All you got to do is download it. You can call the show, and we can talk, and I can answer your questions. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and take this picture that I took the other day, playing around in the new studio here. Yeah, the new studio. That sounds a lot larger than what it is, but from talking to a lot of people, talking to a lot of professionals out there, some home studios are pretty small. So, and this one, the only thing I don't like about this one, I got to set it up and tear it down every time I want to do anything. But, you know, I don't take portraits all the time, so be it what that is. So this is the shot that I took in the studio there, and I posted on Facebook, so you guys seen it. But Jessica was asking a couple weeks back about creating a Polaroid picture. How would you take this and create a Polaroid? And like I said, I scoured the internet and said, man, there's 1,000 ways to do it. But here's the way we're going to do this one. It's very, very simplistic, and I taught this a long time ago on one of my YouTube videos. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to View, and we're going to zoom out. Now, the reason I'm doing this, I want to see more of the canvas area around the picture. Wow, I just said canvas area around the picture. What does that mean, Jack? It's very simple. We're going to increase the canvas size. Yeah, Kevin, we're not using the laptop anymore, so I wasn't switching from the laptop to the other camera because you said before it didn't do that. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just throwing this back out and catching the chat room here before we keep going here. But yeah, Kevin, when you said that before, I ditched the laptop. I'm not even using a laptop anymore. It's just straight iMac computer now. And so that it can't be happening there because I wanted to get rid of any possible object of what was making these shows lag down a little bit. So. And then it catches back up. Yeah, it has to be something with Justin TV when it's going through there, because I've noticed it on other people's shows also, where I'll be watching it and all of a sudden it'll just lag down and catch back up. So, okay, good morning, Hugh. Good to see you stop by there, sir. Okay. So let's get back to this tutorial. Here's the portrait I shot. We're going to make it into a Polaroid. We're talking about canvas size. And what we need to do is increase the overall canvas size to make it look like a Polaroid. So here's your first step. Image, resize, canvas size. Now this is the canvas size that it is, 45 and 68 high. Those are in inches. It really doesn't matter what you work in. We're going to work in inches because that's what it is. That's what it's giving us. Let's change this, and we're going to make it 50. Let's try to make it 50, and we'll go down here, and we're going to make this 50, and we're going to make this about 70. Let's try 70, and click OK. Now you see already what happens there. It gives us a little bit of a border around there. Now I don't like the height, so we're going to give it a little bit more height. I suggest you start small and work your way up. If you start large and work your way back, Elements is going to give you an error message. Image, resize, canvas size. 70, so we're going to go 75. Click OK. There you go. So now we have that top and that bottom there. Now it's starting to look more like a Polaroid picture. But a true Polaroid picture, we all remember, there's a white space on the bottom where you could write on. Well, we got to address that and make that white space. So here's what you do. Image, resize, canvas size again, and this time the anchor. Where do we want the main picture to be anchored to? The top, because we want to add white space to the bottom. Do that. And now height, let's make it 80. Click OK. Now all of a sudden now you see that we have a Polaroid picture. It was very easy to do. It doesn't take much effort. You can hit the text button here, and now we can type in here. Well, we can't type in white, that's for sure. Let's type in black. Okay. Simply click here. Now we can drag this out and make it bigger, right? And there you go. Now you have a Polaroid picture that we can have printed off, and it looks like a Polaroid. So you say, well, Jack, that's great for a portrait and everything. That looks really nice. Can you do it with a landscape shot? I thought, well, I knew you'd be asking that this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this picture. We're going to do the same thing. View, we're going to zoom out a couple times there, make it a little smaller. Then once again, we're going to go ahead and we're going to increase the canvas size. So image, resize, canvas size. Not the image. We don't want to make the image bigger. We want to add canvas. So this is even a nice way if you're framing a picture. You can do this without using all the frames that's built into Elements. Okay, so let's change this one now to 60. And the bottom one here, the height, let's change it to 40. See what we get. There's our canvas, right? It's around it now. Now we got to do once again is make it a little longer like we talked about before. Let's go to image, resize, canvas size, and very simply anchor to the top one again. Change this bottom now. Let's make it 45. And there you go. Now there's your landscape Polaroid picture. So again, it was very easy to do. It didn't take a whole lot of effort to get it done. Then we're going to look at some lighting here. I thought it'd be interesting since I've been playing with lighting, and as I learn these new techniques, I love to share them with you guys and girls out there so you can actually learn with me. And I always look for very inexpensive ways to do things too. I mean, I'm not one of them people that can just afford to drop, money. And the strobes, if you looked at my unboxing, the strobe kit that I even bought is under $300. And still trying to get the idea behind them, because I'm going to show you this morning another lot cheaper way to have a strobe light, as well as you can pick up the still lighting, just regular lights to stay on, and you can light your subject that way. So there's a lot of different options that you can do. And even now, as I look at this picture, just to bring this back up here, Even as I look at this picture here, there's an interesting light coming through there, but in the same aspect, it's not well lit. If you know what I mean. Looks like a really beautiful picture, but the lighting is not flattering by any means. You can see them. What makes this a beautiful picture is the background that they chose. That my stepdaughter took this against, and the perfect coloring in the shot. So, without even white balancing, it came out really, really nice, and I thought that was a bonus. It looks really, really good there, but the light, there could have been something done with the lighting, either a reflector below them, bringing some of that white light back up onto their faces, or maybe just a soft flash, some kind of flash strobe in front of them to give them a little bit of more light is what we need. And I've been studying a lot about light, and if you're a photographer, if you do photography work, I can't stress it enough to go outside, walk around, or if you're at the mall or wherever, look at light. I've been looking at the world in a whole new way, honestly. And what I'm talking about is when I go out with my wife and we're shopping anywhere, I start to look at things like pillars. How's the light falling on the pillars? Is there a highlighted side? Is there a shadowed side? And learn the way light moves around things, and you'll take better pictures that way. Okay, Serena, I never used any extra lighting, kind of scared of it. Now, right, Kevin, you're right. Got to try it. Right now, Serena, I don't know where you live or where you're from, but here in the Pittsburgh region, we get a lot of snow in the winter. Now, a lot of people will tell you, well, that's okay because you go outside and the snow reflects the light and it's beautiful. It is. It's very, very beautiful. I, on the other hand, don't really like cold weather. So I deal with it because I've lived here all my whole life. But if I can bring people into the house, even a small little studio setting, and take some pictures inside when the weather outside is not too great, then, hey, better for me, better for them, right? Because I don't have them laying in the snow taking pictures of them. So there you go. That's why you have to try out light. Yeah, you're right, Kevin, too. Once you try lighting, once you try out lighting, your images will look different. We were doing some stuff yesterday with my daughter. You've seen a couple of those on Facebook playing around. And I showed them to my wife, and she goes, well, that's too dark, or that's not right. Or my wife likes a straight-on, there's nothing wrong about it. It's all personal taste. She likes a straight-on light that lights everything around the face and lights the person up, and they're well lit. And I said, well, I could do that with the flash on top of my camera. It's not interesting. There's nothing impressive about that. It's just a straight flash. And that's kind of where my still lighting left me. And my still lighting left me is I could light up a scene. I could light everything up. I'll try to do this as you can see my hands. I could light everything up in the middle, person sitting there. But with still lighting, and you can use one reflector, but you can't really get those reflections like a strobe would hit something and reflect, because you're going to have that steady reflection, that steady light. And you can turn somebody's head and get a different reflection if you're using strobes. So there's just a better way to fire using strobes. And like I said, it's not too expensive to get started, but I'm going to show you a little cheaper way to do this. So with that said, I'm going to go into our little brief commercial break there. And pay attention to this one. I'm sorry it is a little bit longer. This is like an intermission. But the only thing I tell you, I just recorded a new one so you guys can be entertained with that. When I come back, we will go ahead and start looking at this lighting and see what there is to offer you. So let's go ahead and get started here with the commercial break. I'll see you back here in just a couple minutes. Hey, have you been looking for a great place to host your pictures? And I know there's a lot of picture sites out there that host them, like Flickr and all those, and Yahoo and whatever else you have out there. But it's nice to have a place to call your very own home on the internet. Let that home be hosted by Weebly, Weebly. Weebly is a great and powerful hosting service, as well as a very easy drag and drop web builder site. So what you see is what you get, or WYSIWYG. So I know they host my website, and they've done a remarkable job. and I've been with them for quite a while, and I'm sure I'll continue to stay with them. So once again, it's Weebly. Sign up for a free account today, and I'm sure you'll be paying for an account and being with them permanently, such as I did. Also, check out this sponsor, Green Screen Wizard, written by Ken. Ken is an amazing programmer. What else can you say? He's written algorithms to make green screening a piece of cake. If you ever tried green screening or removing the green, you always get that green cast and everything in Photoshop or Photoshop Elements. Well, Green Screen Wizard takes care of that. Ken took the time. He also is an amazing background shooter. In talking to Ken on the phone for about an hour, a couple different times, Ken is a great person. He travels the world and he shoots backgrounds for you. So, no longer do you have to buy all those expensive backgrounds. Just buy a kit from Ken, set the green screen up, take a picture, and then drop in any background you want. Once again, that's Green Screen Wizard for all your green screening needs. With that said, go to my website, jackstechcorner.com, and look for the sponsors links on the left. You want to click on the graphics, and that will take you to the sponsors links. When you use my website to get to them, that helps the show out, and I truly appreciate it, as well as then the sponsors know that you are coming from Jack's Tech Corner Show. And if you want to help even more, you could pick up a DVD. It will not only help the show, it helps you. You can learn Photoshop Elements. There's many, many tips and tricks in there that you're going to learn with. You don't have to worry about the internet speed then. All the videos are burnt onto the DVD. Or like many of you already did, you can also donate to the show. All donations of any size are greatly appreciated, and they help to buy new equipment as well as the software I need to continue to do these videos for you. So, thank you very much, and let's go ahead and get back to Jack's Tech Corner and more learning. Okay, very good. Well, that was my new brief intermission, and I'm sure I'll be recording some more of those soon throughout the time here. Okay, folks, now you're going to have to help me along here a little bit, because if you remember last week, I think it was last week I was showing you soft boxes and umbrellas. When I move on to the other part of my little studio here, my TV studio, whatever it is, but I'm going to look back at this chat room a couple times. Let me know how the audio is. We don't want the audio to be cranked way up like we had that problem with before. So you guys listen. I'll do a little bit of talking, and we'll see where we're at, and then we'll start that part of the segment. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to that camera. I'm going to bring the microphone up here hot. There we go. Let's bring that camera up over there. Now, there's a couple different ways we can do studio lighting. We looked last week at the strobes. We looked at a strobe head. That's the one actually I have right now. It's up for sale on Facebook. So if you guys are on my Facebook group, check it out. But we looked at soft boxes and umbrellas, and we talked about the difference with those. And just to reiterate, the soft box allows us to actually create a softer, more elegant light. Then the umbrella is also very good. If you use it to shoot through, it's going to create a soft, mellow light. Probably not as even as a softbox just because of the way it's hitting the umbrella. But if you turn it around and you shoot into the umbrella, you're going to make that wide open light that my wife really loves to see. She loves to see that in our pictures here at the house, portraits, to see the girls well lit. So that's what she likes to see. So how can we do this and not break the bank? Okay, that's the whole thing. How can we not break the bank? I mean, studio strobes, folks, I've been looking recently, and man, oh man, they're expensive. I mean, there's some out there that was $1,000 just for a head, and I can't do that. I mean, so the kit I bought, I'm not going to go into it anymore today, other than showing you one of the strobes, but look at my YouTube video. It's called Unboxing the Light Set, I think is what it's called. Check that out. It was just posted the other day here, so we're good. Here's what I like. And here's what I used a lot. And Kevin, this might even get you started a little bit better. This is, I don't know if I can bring it in closer or not. Try to bring it up here a little bit more. This is actually a, basically it's just a hot shoe flash is what it is. And the hot shoe flash, I'm just checking here to see. I can't, like I said, the chat room and everything's behind me now. But the hot shoe flash normally goes up on top of the camera. Get the camera. It normally goes right up on top of here. Let's unscrew this. Talk about that in a minute. So normally it sits right up here. Now when you do portraits and you're shooting and you got that hot shoe flash up here, and folks, remember, I don't even do that at weddings. I used to, right? Because we learn, we evolve into things. So I used to use it, but when you turned it this way, what happened? Remember I told you before, poof, big shadow behind the bride on the wall. Not good. A lot of work for me, not very beneficial to the bride and groom, you know, if you're in that church setting. So we had to get the flash even just off of the hot shoe, off the camera. It had to be somewhere else. That's why I talked to you, and I know a lot of you have been emailing me, and we've been talking back and forth about the flash brackets. There's no right or wrong flash bracket. It's whatever you like. And but the one I bought, I really enjoy it. This is the third one that I've owned, so I really enjoy it, and it works really well to get that flash up off of the camera where you want it, so you don't have that constant flash on the camera. Now when I go to portrait mode, my flash stays on top. Same idea with these light stands and with using your flash, your hot shoe flash that you bought. And folks, you don't have to buy, you know, I know they stress, this is a Nikon, this is my newest Nikon, but I also have the Nikon D80. And ever since I started buying cameras, the camera manufacturers stress, use our flash. You don't have to use a manufacturer approved flash. I found a couple websites, and just do some searching. You can find people that create hot shoe flashes for a lot less. The SB600 that I'm using, I think I might have paid at the time when it was new, $200 roughly. I mean, now they have models that replaced them. I think they have the SB700 and the SB900. The 900 going for about $400. You can buy a flash with TTL built in for $70, and it'll work with your camera as well as Nikons. It works with Canons. They have them for $70. I mean, I might buy one just to play with it, just to see how well it works. Okay. So again, I'm just sorry about that, leaning over, just looking at the chat room, making sure everything's going okay with you guys. Sip of coffee, which I know a couple people actually told me on YouTube, remember this, why you drink coffee during your shows? Because I talk so much. That's why. All right. So here you have it. Let's try to break this down a little bit. And I want to make sure you can see this. So the light stand itself didn't cost that much. The light stand, you can find these from, you know, I usually get them through B&H, but I've been now finding stuff on Amazon. Amazon.com has some really inexpensive stuff. The wife came up the other night and I was shooting pictures. She goes, where'd the new backdrop come from? And I said, Amazon. It was a great price. It was a $69 backdrop. I got it for $12.95. How could you pass up a bargain? And she goes, yeah, that's true. I wouldn't pass up a bargain. So there you have it. So that's where the light stand, you can look at Amazon for a light stand. And the way this works is just like so. But take this off. This is actually called a hot shoe bracket. Or actually they like to refer to it as a cold shoe bracket because there's no voltage going through that top piece there. So it's a cold shoe flash bracket for your strobe is what it's for. Put that back in there. Just slide this in, you just tighten this down. Then all you do at that point is you put it onto your light stand. Because you know, this strobe light, you're going to use this. You can use this for so much. I mean, if we go to a birthday party, I'll take my strobe. I can't take the other ones I'm going to show you, and I'll show you why. Now, the next part that you're going to want to buy is pretty inexpensive also. This is a I guess it's a cactus, Cactus. Look on eBay is where I bought these things. And it's a cactus wireless trigger. That's what this is for. It's a wireless trigger. Now you can buy these. They have other sets that I've been looking to buy called a Pocket Wizard. The Pocket Wizard's going to set you back a little bit now. It's going to set you back to at the tune of, I think it's $429 I've seen in my shopping cart. I didn't buy it, but I just like to throw it in there to see what it would cost. Like $429 for the receiver and then the transmitter, about $200 a piece. This set here on eBay might have been $12. So is what these would cost you. So they're very, very inexpensive and they work. The only thing different is the Pocket Wizard does TTL, which we'll get into that another time. We'll talk about TTL lighting. But excuse me. These will trip this flash, and that's all that really matters at this point. So your flash just goes right in there. There is a hot shoe on there. You can adjust your flash wherever you want it. Turn the flash on. Then you'll turn your wireless trigger on. That's what that's called. It's called a wireless trigger. And then you can set it off. You can test it right here with your wireless trigger device. So back here, this is on your camera. And you're going to test it. Just like that. So there you have it. That's how it works. It's very, very simplistic. What else I like about this, let me turn these off because this uses a battery that, the battery is called I think it's called a CR2. The wife just bought me two of them. They're like $11, so I try to watch them batteries. The other thing I like about this, and Kevin, you're going to like this also. Let's check this out. You can use this thing and it comes, if you look around, sometimes these umbrella brackets will come with, believe it or not, see where it is. It will come with an umbrella, just like we talked about last week. You can use it to shoot into, oops, this way. You just put it right in there. You don't want to break your fingers off. Now you can't see me, that's all right. Probably better off. If you use this thing, take this little diffuser off. I think we talked about this a while back. Don't buy your diffusers from B&H Photo Video. Unless they're ever going to pay me to advertise for them, then I would tell you to buy it there. But they don't. So buy your little plastic diffusers from eBay. I got this one for $2. Shipping was included. B&H Photo Video, this plastic thing, 18 to 20 bucks. Shipping's extra. So buy it on eBay. It's new. So now we can actually fire through the umbrella. There you go. Or you have the option, don't want to get involved there, away from the mic there. We also have the option of taking this thing, loosen this up, turn it up. We can fire into the umbrella and we get that nice big wide angle. So this one strobe head, which you're going to carry in your camera kit, this goes everywhere with me. No matter if I'm going out in the daylight or if I'm going out in the evenings, whenever, this strobe light is in my bag. So the only thing you would have to do is if you're doing some work outside, we're going to start playing with that soon, taking pictures of my daughter outside with some strobes, with some with a reflector that I purchased recently. We're going to start playing with that stuff outside. Just shut this off. So if you have it anyway, buy these couple extra parts and have yourself a strobe. So Kevin, there you go. This is what I've used a lot of times with my still lights. I use this setup here. Works very, very well. Plus it travels well. That's what I like about it. You know, throw the light stand in your car. You're taking a tripod anyway for the camera. Take a stand for your flash. Well, why not? You know, it's nice to have the parts there. I mean, don't break down or break your back on it, but there you have it. So, inexpensive light stand. Like I said, the stand, the umbrella mount, the umbrella comes with it, and the wireless trigger. If you just bought that right there and you already have the strobe, you're probably looking at about another 30 bucks to have a nice little setup there. So there you have that. Now, with that said, move this over here. With that said, now here's the new bad boy that I bought. Right, for lack of better terminology there. If I can work this thing. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger. It's a little bigger. Now here's some downfalls with this. Here's the downfalls with this light. One, you have to have AC power to it. All right, it needs AC power. Now you can still wirelessly trigger it. You can see I got my little wireless cable here. I hook my wireless trigger to, so you can still wireless trigger it. The other downfall is they're very, very heavy. These heads are a lot heavier than the little flash unit that you can keep in your bag. But you turn it on, here's some positives. You get what's known as a modeling light. Now, the modeling light allows you to see where the light's going to fall on your subject. And Kevin, this is what I asked when I went to a photography conference. I said, the modeling light is the same as a still light, is that right? Well, that's not true. The modeling light, as you can see here, is pretty dim. And we can crank it up, make it a lot brighter, right? But the flash is going to overpower that. So the modeling light is just to see where that light's going to fall on your client. Then when you flash it, turn my head away here. There you go. So now you get that big burst of light coming out of this particular umbrella. And also you can flip this around and use a softbox on it. Now in this particular umbrella that came with this set, these are black, so you can't shoot through these ones like you can the white umbrellas. They are just no more than to reflect the light out like my wife likes. Well-lit portrait picture. So that's what these are for. The other thing these lights will do, as well as the flash unit will, they'll slave off other lights. What does that mean? Slave off other lights. Here's what it means. Very simply is if that light, if my strobe light is triggered, this light will also fire. So, all you gotta do is put this into slave mode. Normal slave mode. I'm going to remove this cable just in case it's going to give me an issue. And hopefully this will work out okay. So we'd have this light here. This is my other light. We'll turn it on. So hopefully if you can see both of these lights. Let me see here if you can actually see this here. So if you can see both of these lights, if this one is triggered, now this one's in slave mode, it should go off without blinding me. Yep, it should go off, but it is not. It can't apparently see this light. So this light would just simply trigger this light in the slave mode. That's how they would work. And if you reverse it, you put this light in a slave or a command mode, use it as a backdrop light, and this light would actually set this light off. So why am I telling you that? Why is that important? Well, the reason that it's important because when you guys go out and start buying things, you're going to go into it more educated than I was. I went into it slightly blinded into thinking that I needed a wireless trigger unit like this one. Plugs into the sink of the light. I was thinking that you needed a wireless trigger for every light that you owned, but you do not. You don't need to do that. These lights are set up where they would go ahead and fire off of the other lights. That's how they work. And in testing it, we've seen that even if it's on the ground, it was on the ground behind the stool, my posing stool, up on the backdrop, and that light, that low down, still seeing the other lights, and it went off just the same time the other lights went off. So all you need is one trigger. So now you're educated just by one trigger. If you want the very best of the best, then I would say to go ahead and buy the other radio triggers that we talked about, the Pocket Wizards. I would buy the Pocket Wizards if you want the best of the best. But then again, $400 some, you can buy a couple more heads and have some nice camera flashes. Throw those in a separate camera bag and have your kids carry them to location wherever you want to go. So at that point, let me go ahead now. I think we're pretty much wrapping everything up here. That was an explanation of the lights. Hopefully you learned something about lighting, some more, and we'll learn some more because we're going to do some videos outside. Those will probably hit YouTube before they hit the live stream here. But I'm going to be doing some more work with lighting, as well as I'm doing that with my live class this next Thursday night. We're going to do portrait studio stuff with some portrait lighting and play around with that and give them a little bit of ability to learn. I mean, it's all learning, folks. I am not the last expert in the world of photography. Trust me, I am not. I learn every day. I like to sit down. I like to get my camera out, and I like to play. I mean, you know, and just to show you, this little trigger, like I said, it goes right on your hot shoe. And I've had this on there ever since I got my strobes out of the box. See where it goes on there? Because I've been playing with my lights and learning with this thing. You know, learning what capabilities it has and learning what it can do. So there you have that. Okay, well, let me go back over to the desk here and bring that camera back up. And we'll chat a little bit more. I want to see what you guys have been talking about in the chat room. Hopefully the audio held up for us on this part of the video and we didn't have too much troubles here. So I'm going back over to the desk and I'll see you there. Okay, well, thank you very much to everybody out there for watching this episode of Photography Weekly, episode number 31. I really enjoyed teaching you about the self-portrait trio, and I really hope that you guys go ahead and do that. Make one up. Do something interesting. I would love to see it and get that posted onto our Facebook site. Next is thanks for watching the Created the Perfect Polaroid. I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you picked up some tips and tricks on lighting gear. You don't have to spend a lot of money to have some great looking lights. And I'm learning that by spending a lot of money. I'm learning that I didn't have to spend money to have some great pictures that I'm still playing with. So a great man once told me to practice and learn to take great pictures with what you have. And when you start overtaxing what you have, then go ahead and start buying some new equipment, is what he told me. So thanks again for watching episode number 31. And I'm your host, Jack. This is Jack's Tech Corner. Until next time, as always, keep those shutters clicking, keep the editors editing. And I'll see you back here very soon on Jack's Tech Corner for another live show. Bye for now.